You are 7 years old, a member of the great aristocratic families of Rome. Then one day, suddenly, a knock comes at your family's door. The Pontifex Maximus, the highest priest in Rome, has arrived, flanked by priests in white robes. Your father bows so low his forehead nearly touches the floor. You don't understand why he's trembling, why your mother is weeping quietly into her sleeve. Then the words are spoken, heavy and final. You have been chosen to serve the goddess Vesta. Your name was drawn during the Captio, a process to recruit new priestesses from the highborn families. You are taken from your home and brought to a carriage, your mother's cry following you down the street, swallowed quickly by the sound of hooves on stone. You arrive in Rome, its temples, arches, and markets surround you, but you are headed only to one place, the great marble gates leading to the house of the Vestals, the beating heart of the city. The house of the Vestals smells of oil lamps and fresh plaster, its courtyard filled with statues of women whose faces are solemn. They somehow scare you. Your tunic is taken, your back smeared with oil, and finally you are given your new robe. You are no longer your father's daughter. You are a Vestal. You sleep in a narrow bed among girls older than you, their whispers in the dark both comforting and terrifying. Training begins immediately. You memorize the proper steps for each ritual, how to approach the altar, how to lift water from the sacred spring, how to lay offerings on the flame without hesitation. Older Vestals watch you constantly. Their faces reveal nothing, but their corrections are swift. A wrong thread in the weaving of sacred garments earns you an entire night without rest, undoing and redoing until your fingers blister. Forgetting a line of prayer means kneeling in gravel until your knees bleed. You do not cry, or if you do, you hide it well. At night you dream of your mother's hands braiding your hair, of the smell of bread baking in your father's hearth. But the dreams fade with each year, replaced by smoke and the low murmur of Latin prayers. By the time you are 12, the city sees you differently. When you walk through Rome, people bow, some kiss the hem of your robe. Men accused of crimes rush to your side, clutching at your hand, for to touch a Vestal can mean pardon. You have seats of honor at the games, sitting where senators and generals break bread with aristocrats. You own land, something few women in Rome will ever do. The law protects you in ways it protects almost no one else. And yet, you are bound by chains, softer but heavier than iron. You may not laugh too loud in the markets, nor linger by fountains, nor even dream of love. Your virginity is not yours. It belongs to the goddess, a noble sacrifice to keep Rome safe. You are 17 when you first notice the glances. When you wander the city, some young men look at you differently. You know that they try to see the curves beneath your robes. You never glance back, but not all of your sisters are so vigilant. One of your sisters, a Vestal only a few years older, lingers too long near the temple steps whenever a certain young man comes to deliver offerings. At first, it seems harmless. A smile when he bows, a hand that brushes too near when he offers the basket. You see it, though you pretend not to. Late one night, when the temple is silent and the fire burns steady, you hear them. The sound is muffled but clear, the rustle of fabric, the low murmur of voices and moans that do not belong in a holy place. When the silence returns, you walk away as though nothing happened. But Rome sees everything sooner or later. The trial is swift, the verdict inevitable. She broke her vow. They lead her to a chamber dug deep into the earth, a small vault just wide enough to hold a body. You are forced to watch, along with your sisters, as the walls close around her, brick by brick. She carries a small lamp, a loaf of bread, a jar of water, as though these pitiful offerings could soften death. Then the final stone is placed. Days later, her face is pale, her lips whispering prayers that catch in the dust. You are told this is mercy, for a Vestal's blood must not be spilled, but you know better. That night you tremble, not only for her, but for yourself. You realize how fragile you are, that every action must be perfect, unless you also want to end in the darkness. With every passing year, your duties increase in importance. You are now tasked with protecting the holy fire of Vesta and keeping it going. According to Roman history and legends, the entire empire will be destroyed if the flame ever goes out. But one day, something goes wrong. You sit beside the altar, eyes heavy, trying to read a prayer. A gust of wind sweeps the smoke sideways. The flame flickers once, then vanishes. You stare at the darkened altar in disbelief. Moments later, the Pontifex Maximus storms in. His face is thunder. "You, let it die," he says, and those 4 words weigh heavier than chains. You are dragged to the courtyard. You want to scream, but you accept your fate. The people already whisper, already stare. You are stripped of your veil and whipped with rods, each strike cutting like fire. Not enough to kill, but enough to leave some scars. You taste blood, your vision blurs, and the roar of the crowd fills your ears. Rome has not been destroyed, but your body sure feels like it. When it is over, the flame is relit, with fire drawn from the sun itself, as though to purify what you defiled. For weeks afterward, you hear people whisper about your failure. That is the one who failed. But you survive and continue your duty. You pass into your 20s, then your 30s, no longer the child who trembled under punishment, no longer the girl who dreamed of her mother's gentle touch. The city changes beyond the temple walls. Emperors rise and fall, markets swell and empty. Legions march out and return scarred or not at all. Meanwhile, you continue to tend the holy flame. Every evening you pray the same words with your sisters and weave the same garments in your room. But you train the younger ones now. You see the fear in their eyes when they stumble, when their hands shake, when their prayers falter. You are stern, but never cruel. You remember your own scars, and though you do not say it, you want to spare them what you endured. Sometimes when you pass the courtyard, your mind drifts to the one buried alive. You whisper her name only in thought, never aloud. 3 decades of silence, fire, and vigilance. And then, one morning, the Pontifex Maximus summons you. His voice is dry with age as he speaks the words, "You are free." The weight of it nearly crushes you. Freedom, a word you have not tasted since childhood. The city greets you with noise, with color, with smells so sharp they make your head swim. Men nod respectfully. Some even whisper proposals. Marrying a former Vestal comes with prestige, wealth, and the favor of the gods. But when you look at them, their eager faces, their promises of marriage and children, you feel only distance. You try. You accept an invitation to a nobleman's villa. He is kind, speaks with respect, offers you jewels, but when he touches your hand, you feel nothing but cold. You leave that night beginning to understand that you don't belong. People see you, but they do not know you. In the end, you return. The marble gates open, and the house of the Vestals welcomes you not as a servant, but as an elder. You take up your place again, not because you must, but because it is the only place where you are whole. Here the rituals are no longer chains, but rhythm as familiar as breath. Here you are not a stranger. You are home. One night, long after the city has gone quiet, you sit before the fire alone. The warmth bathes your face, the smoke rises in steady coils. And when your own flame flickers out, they will place your statue in the courtyard, honoring your years of service. A new girl arrives at the temple, 6 years old and crying. This time it's your stony eyes that meet her gaze and frighten her. She doesn't yet realize that she is looking at her future.